Found out my wife got pregnant, but I'm sterile.
Hell no.
I never gonna raise another man's child. So I'm divorcing her with no mercy. So this is my first time posting, and I'm on mobile, so the formatting's gonna be wonky. Well, the title basically says it all. I, 27 male, found out my wife, 26 female, after seeing her messages pop up while setting up her new phone. Gotta love Apple backups. I suffered a terrible skateboarding accident at 15 that unfortunately left me 100% sterile. Like the parts responsible for baby batter got removed and replaced with prosthetics, so there's no chance this is my kid. I called her best friend and asked what was going on, and she acted so happy to learn we were having a kid. But after I explained to her I'm not capable of having children, she got super quiet, and then hung up and immediately texted my wife about it. I just left the messages up on her laptop and phone, packed a bag, and am now at a friend's house getting drunk. I don't know what to do. Any advice? ETA. I'm on the spectrum, so dealing with emotions is not a strong suit of mine. I just want to ghost her with divorce papers, but I keep thinking that would be too harsh. But after everything I've done for her, this is how she treats me. I need help. Alright, let's see some top comments. Bun Better says, your wife knows you're sterile? Theope says, yes, had that conversation a few months into dating. Own Writing 36 says, see an attorney immediately. Find out how to avoid being held responsible for the cost of raising another man's child. Every state differs. Don't wait until after birth. Typical Agency 89 says, if you stay married, you will be listed as the father on the birth certificate. You will need to go to court to get the paternity removed from the birth certificate. It's your choice to stay, but make sure you don't become responsible for a child that's not yours. Update. First, I'll clarify a few things from the last post. I suffered a skateboarding accident at 17 that caused severe damage to my bits and the tubes that run to them, and they had to be removed and replaced with prosthetics, rendering me 100% sterile. That fact was double-checked 3 years after the accident, and I was still 100% sterile. So there's no way the child is mine. I was in the process of transferring her data from her old iPhone to her new iPhone, and I saw a photo of a positive pregnancy test in her iCloud. I'm not proud, but I did a little snooping and found her conversation with her BFF talking about it. Okay, so here's the update. After a long and difficult talk with her and her dad, we decided that we're going to separate and file the papers with the county we currently reside in. We'll have to be separated for a year before we can legally divorce, and we'll be doing the paternity test when the baby is born. In the meantime, we broke the lease, which she paid for, and we'll have until January 20th to clean out the apartment, and after that, we'll go our separate ways for now. My lawyer and I decided it would be best for her to stay on my insurance until after the birth of the baby, but I will not be going to appointments, nor will I be there when the child is born. As far as I'm concerned, we're done, and there's no chance of reconciliation because cheating is an unforgivable sin in my book. She fundamentally ruined my trust in her, and if we stayed together, I'd constantly be wondering if she'll do the same thing again, and I don't want or need that in my life. If you're unhappy but you aren't capable of having a discussion with your partner about your feelings to try and come to a resolution that not only benefits you but also your relationship, you're an emotionally immature person, and we're not compatible together. I'd like to thank everyone here for your advice, and I'd especially like to thank the people who DM'd me with messages of support and stories from their own lives. Thanks again, peeps. Alright, let's see some top comments. Lil Ladybug 81 says, you can get the test done before the baby is born with just a blood sample from the mother. There's no reason you have to draw this out until the baby is born. I would recommend doing it sooner rather than later, if only so that you have something to refute anything she tells other people about you abandoning your kids. Campbellton says, this, but also, depending on the location or judge, the whole separating for a year thing may be looked past if you have a pregnant wife and a test proving the baby isn't yours. It is a pretty good argument for why you won't be fixing this. Adrift in the Bay says, yeah, the law doesn't always care about reasons. In the US anyway. I don't know about where this poster is from. In California, you have to wait 6 months even if domestic violence is involved. Dryask5493 wants to know, why aren't you having her get a prenatal paternity test? Goal9799 says, because it's probably fake. She told her best friend she was pregnant, but failed to mention that her husband is sterile and it's from an affair. Pegleg Steve 26 says, make sure you're not listed on the birth certificate. Black Dahlia Lady says, but see, that's the thing. I just thought of this. In a lot of states, the woman's husband is presumed to be the father. He will be the child's legal father if they are still married when it's born. Even if she was known to be cheating, he will still be considered the legal father because they're married. It's an archaic law that needs to be changed, but hopefully with this DNA test, the judge will allow him to divorce her sooner. Spidey Darna says, dude, why is she staying on your insurance? Where is the affair partner in all of this? How is she not pursuing the backing from that person? Ligero says, depending on the situation, he might not be able to remove her until an open season because separation isn't a life-changing event, or if he's in the military, it just isn't an option until they are fully divorced. Probably wants to be extra sure he isn't the dad or faces legal problems because he hasn't proved he isn't the dad yet with the DNA test. Inky Breadbox says, wait, did she admit to cheating, or did you find something?
I'm confused.
Let's go to the second cheating story. I, female 23, introduced my brother-in-law, 39 male, to the woman he cheated on my sister with, 21 female, 38 female. I feel like such a jerk. My sister, Gwen, 38 female, has been married to Jacob, 39 male, for 10 years. I've had a best friend, Ellie, 21 female, since middle school. She's always been around, but in 2020, I started inviting her around more because her mom died of COVID, so she didn't have any family around. So I invited her to holiday parties, family get-togethers, etc., so she'd feel part of a family. Last night, we found out from texts my sister found on Jacob's phone that he's been sleeping with Ellie, and she might be pregnant. My sister is devastated and took their kids to come live with our parents. I feel so guilty. I'm the one who brought her around and invited her to her stuff. I feel like it's all my fault. My sister's life is ruined. Her kids are really upset. I don't know what else I can do other than say sorry. Alright, let's see some top comments. Kerr004 says, it's hard to tell you to stop feeling guilty because you feel what you feel. But know this, a-hole trash cheaters are going to cheat regardless of who they're introduced to by their sister-in-laws. He could be cheating with someone else. He could have a coworker lined up to cheat with. But your ex-friend was more convenient at the time. He could be a serial cheater who hasn't stopped cheating since he was 20 years old, and this is his first time being caught. All that is to say that the fault belongs to your sister's trash cheater, ex-to-be I would assume, and hope, husband, not yours. XVS0 says, this isn't even remotely your fault. Here4T wants to say, this couldn't be any less your fault. Lies and cheating put your family in that position. Liar Dark V says, unless it's, I'm the one who took my brother-in-law's hand and put it on Ellie's panties against both of their will and then yelled, now screw, at them and they begrudgingly complied. It's not Opie's fault. Hortense Daigle says, Ellie was barely an adult when this started, and it seems as if she's been around since her preteen years. She has no family, and it seems as if she has been groomed. Your brother-in-law is a predator, and this is not your fault. What a mess. I would try to get her side to the story, though. Update. Hi, everyone. My first post is here. My brother-in-law, Jacob, 39 male, cheated on my older sister, Gwen, 38 female, with my best friend Ellie, 21 female, after 10 years. We found out when Gwen found texts on Jacob's phone from Ellie talking about how she was pregnant. My sister is still really upset. She's not doing well at all. The kids all have a really good relationship with Jacob, so that didn't make it easier. They were asking about him constantly and crying for him. She went back home 2 days ago. She's living in the main part of the house, and he's living in the garage apartment. My sister asked me to talk to Ellie, to find out as much of her side as we can. She is pregnant, and apparently her and Jacob have been dating a while. He told her my sister had had a drinking problem and was emotionally abusive to him and the kids. I told her that was all a lie, and if she really thought that was true, why wouldn't she talk to me about it? She said she thought I'd lie for my sister. I know you all probably think I'm crazy because I'm so emotional. I'm not usually, but I'm so sad for my sister. But also I feel guilty because I also just sat down and sobbed the other day because like she was my best friend for so many years, and she must have completely lied and misled me and made up stories to keep her dating him a secret. She wasn't really my friend at all, and I had no idea, and I know this is about my sister and her kids and not me, but I feel so sad about that. A lot of people seemed confused about when they met. 2020 was just when her mom died, and I started bringing her to big family events, holidays, and stuff. Jacob and Ellie have known each other since me and her became friends when we were kids because my sister was still living at home when they started dating. I wouldn't even say him and Ellie were particularly close or anything, so I don't know of any grooming or anything like that happened. Ellie doesn't have any family, so I don't know who would even look for proof of that or not. My sister has already hired a lawyer. Jacob says he's sorry about the infidelity, but says he's ready to move on with Ellie. Everything just really sucks now. The only one who doesn't seem affected by any of this is Jacob, who has just been acting completely normal and just hanging out with the kids a lot. My sister said he almost seems cheerful about all of this. Alright, let's see some top comments. I swear too much FFS says. F Jacob and Ellie. The Opie replies. I just don't know how they could lie to us for so long. Vegetable B says. Because they don't have any conscience. Also, don't believe Ellie for a second about what brother-in-law said about your sister. If she has known you since middle school and has been around the last couple years, she has seen firsthand their interactions. I call it a huge pile of horse crap, and she is just a crappy human being. Well, a snake. She bit the hand that feeds her. Stardad Asanam says, honestly, don't worry about Jacob and Ellie and cut off contact with them both. There's no reason you need to be in their lives anymore, and they'll get what's coming to them. Ellie has no mother and has saddled herself with a guy who is 18 years older than her and lies and cheats for 18 plus years. Her hell will be here as soon as he finds another barely legal adult to cheat on her with. Not to mention she is giving up her entire young adulthood for this. Jacob may seem unaffected now, but he is going to have a world of hurt coming his way with all the legal and financial requirements that come from a divorce, with proof of infidelity if you are in a state that cares about that, child support, and possibly alimony. He will go through the same thing with Ellie when he knocks up either one of her friends or some other almost teenage girl that he has manipulated into believing Ellie is a terrible person. Basically, their lives and relationship are a ticking time bomb before they implode because of each other's crappiness. None of this is your fault. If it wasn't Ellie, Jacob would have found some other girl with emotional issues to suck her into an affair with. Don't worry about them. They'll get what's coming to them. Focus on supporting your sister through all of this and helping however you can. It will get better for you, her and her kids over time if you all look out for each other. Good luck and F Ellie and Jacob. Pink Gem has this to say, you can be emotional for yourself and your own betrayal you went through from your best friend while still being sympathetic and sad for your sister. Don't feel guilty for that. Events like this don't just affect one person. It is obviously going to affect you, your sister, her kids, likely your parents, but all to varying degrees. I'm sorry you had to find out your friend did not value your friendship this way. If she had valued your friendship, she wouldn't have had a relationship with your married brother-in-law. Whether she was groomed or not, it's not your responsibility now to figure out any of that. The Opie replies, thank you. It's just a really hard time, so I think I just don't know what to feel bad about. Little Ball of Fur wants to say, how old are the kids? Your sister shouldn't lie about the reason of their divorce. It always bites in the butt the victim because the villain just uses their soft heart against them through their kids. Your sister should talk to a child counselor or therapist about how to tell age properly that their dad cheated, and that's why they're getting a divorce and custody arrangements are needed. They're probably going to need therapy too. The Opie replies, the kids are 9 and 6. I don't know how they're going to tell them about it. Little Ball of Fur responds again. Your sister shouldn't burn herself to keep that piece of crap guy warm. Kids should know the truth so they don't blame mom for getting a divorce, because it's her who initiates the divorce on paper.